And if you're not a Christian, if you don't have an objective standard of morality, if you don't have a foundational starting place for your worldview, then pretty much anything goes. What's up, Truth? This is Ben, and I want to talk about what it's like to experience or to receive a death threat as a Christian. Now, this seems kind of foreign in America, at least to some people. With death threats and attacks and suicide bombings and murders and things like that based on your religion aren't very common in the United States. It's pretty foreign, actually, for the most part. At least it was in the past. At least in the last 100 years or so. It's pretty interesting. But I want to talk about a death threat that I received. I've actually received 2 threats as far as I can remember. One of them I received on my John Christ video. Now, the person who uploaded it, the comment's no longer there, so I'll put it up on screen so you guys can see it. But it was a person named Keith Carlisle. Now, Keith Carlisle commented on my John Christ video, and it didn't have anything to do with the existence of God or the LGBTQI community, as he puts it, but he got on there and he said, I'm so glad I don't have to deal with this, and I'm paraphrasing, because I'm part of the LGBTQI community. Oh, and by the way, your God's not real. That was his comment, totally unrelated, but it was probably just, they were angry or they wanted to blow off steam. They came across my video and that's where they wanted to. And so I asked them for proof, right? If you're going to make a positive claim, right, kind of talking about philosophical argumentation here, like how you argue correctly. If you're going to make a positive claim about something, then you have to provide evidence to support your claim. And so I asked him to do that. He did not. He said something else and tried to skirt the issue. And I said, that's your subjective opinion. That's not actually proof. So once again, do you have proof that God isn't real? Well, then he said this, and I'll put it up on screen. And you can pause it if you want to read it, and I'll paraphrase again. But he didn't like it. He mentioned something about how somebody who was gay, I believe, was attacked in New York, and now it's time to take the fight to the churches. Yes, it's time to take the fight to the churches. Maybe one day you're waiting for Sunday school, you show up late, and somebody is there with a suicide vest, and kaboom, Christians die. But don't worry, at the end of the comment he said, well, I wouldn't do it because I don't like violence, but maybe someday. Isn't that nice for this person to say, one day we're going to have suicide vests and people are going to come out of church and somebody's going to kill all of them. Oh, but it's not me though. I wouldn't do that because I'm not violent. But if somebody else did it, I wouldn't mind. Nice for them to excuse themselves at the end. So obviously this person was threatening Christians and me, but they were trying to do it, as to make it seem like they weren't actually threatening Christian lives. But this person absolutely was. And I was going to respond, but then the comment disappeared. And I believe the YouTube profile disappeared. So what I'm assuming has happened was that YouTube found the comment. I'm pretty sure YouTube has like an automatic, some kind of a software that automatically detects language like that, and it blocks it because obviously it doesn't follow within their community guidelines. So I did kind of appreciate that. That was nice to actually see somebody going after a Christian or conservative or something have their comment removed and their channel removed. So I'm assuming that's what happened. And that was a threat that I got on my life and Christian lives. And there's a lot of people that are kind of getting to that point. Violence is obviously escalating. People are starting to get physical. And Christians are in the way. They're in the way of these people's agenda. Now, when I looked at this person and it first happened, I kind of was like, wow, I kind of had the natural thought, kind of just the, anger, irritation, or, this person's attacking me. But we need to remember as Christians that this person is engaged in a spiritual battle, primarily, right? This person has sin in their life. This person has something going on in their life, a lifestyle, behaviors that are sinful. They're obviously not saved. So they're living in their carnal flesh. And if you're not a Christian, if you don't have an objective standard of morality, if you don't have a foundational starting place for your worldview, then pretty much anything goes, right? Do what thou wilt will be the whole of the law, Aleister Crowley. And that's the model for pretty much everybody. And so if somebody is doing something you don't like, or they're trying to stop you from doing something that you want to do, or their worldview or what they believe gets in the way of what you want, do what thou wilt. Everything's permissible. Violence is, threats are. It doesn't really matter because there's no moral checkpoints or barriers. So you can threaten people to do whatever you want, and it is escalating, and it'll be getting more like that. And it's interesting. And the normal thought when something like this happens, is anger, retaliation, things like that. But as a Christian, our response should be prayer and pity for this person, this Keith Carlisle person, if that is their real name. This person needs prayer. This person is struggling with sin and with pain and emotions and answers or questions that they don't have answers to. And so when they see somebody like me or the Christian worldview, providing answers and giving them, making claims about things that they don't like, they don't know how to handle it. And violence is usually the go-to emotion. So as much as people, and even me, sometimes when we see something like that, we want to retaliate. That's not the way we do it as Christians. We pray for this person. We reach out to them. And that was was going to be my next comment after I saw it. And then I took a little bit of time, and I was going to reach out to them and, try to build a bridge and, ask if they needed prayer. And, because, just reacting back and, making fun of them or hating on them or, threatening them doesn't change anything. It doesn't change people. And so that was a death threat, the first one. And I had another threat. It wasn't a death threat, but I kind of expected more of this response on this video because I made a video about the Ouija board. And I talked about what the Ouija board is and how Christians should stay away from it and how it's not a good thing to have. Because obviously, if you're using a Ouija board, you're not speaking with anybody that is good, holy. You're not speaking to angels. You're not speaking to God. You're not speaking to your dead relatives, right? But you are speaking to something. And the Ouija board is interesting, even from like a naturalistic sense, because there are so many accounts of people using Ouija boards and things happen, paranormal things that are impossible to explain in the natural realm. And so it is kind of interesting that the Ouija board, as bad as they are, can also be used as evidence for the supernatural in a weird way. And I'm not saying go play with one, by the way. No, that's way not what I'm saying. Go watch my video. But anyways, on that, and so I encountered a person on that, and eventually we got to the point where they said that they can't wait for the time when it is illegal for Christianity to be practiced in America. They can't wait till they can arrest us and they can take our kids so we can't teach our kids this evil, vile stuff. And this person pretty much just ranting, obviously not responding to anything I was saying. And so it was either somebody who is atheistic or agnostic, and they're just trying to troll me, or it is somebody who actually is, a Satanist, a Luciferian, plays with Ouija board, experienced some kind of evil interaction, and they're just trying to, attack me and go after my video. So it is interesting. And obviously, it's weird when you're in the world of the online, because people tend to say things that they would never say to your face or that they would never say in public, because there's anonymity behind a keyboard, right? Everybody gets to feel like they're strong and like they're making a difference and they're some kind of a virtue warrior because they, commented something online that seems like they're brave and courageous, but they don't have to, show themselves or say it to your face or be in. It's cowardly, but it's not unexpected. That's just the world we live in. And if you are going to be a Christian and you are going to post online and you're going to make videos, you're going to run into this, and it's going to get worse. And I hate to use the word persecution because it's really not yet. If I was, when you say, Christians are being persecuted in North Korea and in China, right? I've done some videos about China on my fireside chats with my friend Kelly. And we've done videos on China, and then when you think about them and things like North Korea and the persecution they're experiencing, where people are being imprisoned and there's a secret police in China and In North Korea, you can be thrown in a prison camp for up to 3 generations. That's persecution. And they come over to America and you're like, I'm being persecuted. Why? Somebody said something mean online. It's not really persecution. I mean, it's persecution light. Now, it will be getting worse, by the way. Yeah, we will actually get to where we are experiencing true persecution here. And that is coming. So it is good to start now and kind of, affirm yourself and get ready for it. But I don't want to, I'm not making this video because I don't want to sound like a victim, right? I hate when people do that, victim mentality. Like, I'm a victim. Somebody went after me and attacked me. I'm not a victim. I'm really not. But I want Christians out there who may be thinking about getting in the, the public space or the YouTube game or whatever, who want to make videos, you just prepare yourself, because eventually if you do it long enough and you are consistent and you preach from God's word and you represent actual true Christianity, this is what you're going to experience. You're going to run into this. So just be ready for it. So don't view me as a victim. I just wanted to let you know exactly, just kind of what to expect. Expect light persecution light. Expect resistance. That's probably a better way to say it. Expect resistance. Expect people who aren't Christians. Expect people who are under the control of, demons or the supernatural world, or, some kind of, even just their carnal flesh, right? People who can't control themselves because they don't have the Spirit of God in them and they haven't been regenerated. Just expect resistance. All right, guys. Well, I hope this has helped. I want to share you with share my interesting threat video. People have threatened my life and tried to pretend they weren't, and then people who have threatened to take away my children, or at least use the state to take away my children and things like that. I hope this was eye-opening in some way, shape, or form. If you like this, like the video. If you didn't like it, dislike it. Comment down below if you're a YouTuber, or if you have followed a YouTuber who is a Christian, who has experienced death threats, or some kind of a threat that's similar to the one I received. Maybe put that down in the comments. I'd be curious to look at them. Subscribe to my channel if you like this, and subscribe to my main channel if you want to see more long, in-depth, studious videos. Thanks for stopping by, guys. See you.